All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video. Make sure you check out Pig and a Pickle, best barbecue in Northern California. They're in Marin County, open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. in Corte Madera. They're also in Emeryville, open Wednesday through Sunday. Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Well, how good are the 49er cornerbacks? The one thing about the NFL is, man, you're going to face a lot of good quarterbacks over the course of the year, and those quarterbacks can make your corners look really, really bad. And if you look at the Niners' schedule this year, there's some good quarterbacks on that list. You know, obviously in the division, there's Kyler Murray and Matthew Stafford, Geno Smith. Those guys are no slouches in their own right. And you're going to face them probably twice a year, though the Niners are likely to miss Kyler the first time around. But the Niners also play Dallas. That means they get Dak Prescott. And they play the Vikings, which means they get Kirk Cousins. And they play the Bengals, which means they get Joe Burrow. And they play the Jacksonville Jaguars, which means they have to face Trevor Lawrence. And they get the Browns. And that means they have to face Deshaun Watson. And ESPN's Mike Clay does his annual positional rankings. He came out with his list of cornerbacks today. And he had the 49ers ranked 24th in the NFL on the corner. All right. There's no way the 49ers are 24th in the NFL at cornerback. Let's talk about the group, because it's a good group of corners and an interesting group. And first of all, your number one corner is Charvarius Ward. Now, at the end of last year, you could make an argument that Diamador Lenore was outplaying Charvarius Ward. But Ward, when he's healthy and right, is the Niners' number one corner. He got the big money deal coming over from Kansas City. He's got the size, he's got the smarts, he's got the experience. Charvarius fits the profile of a number one corner. He may not be a shutdown Deion Sanders corner. He may not be Jalen Ramsey or Tre'Davious White, but I mean, you're talking about a true number one corner in Charvarius Ward, and they invested in him in free agency. And if they had to do it again, they would do it again because he's been good. So I think they've got a big-bodied number one corner in Charvarius Ward. Now, to me, it always comes down to depth. You got to have 5 good corners in today's NFL. And if you go to camp with 7 to 10, you're probably even better off. But you got to have 5. So Charvarius Ward is your number one. Then you've got Diamador Lenore, who's going to man that left cornerback spot. He really came on last year. He was a 5th-round pick in the 2021 draft. And then, that rookie year was up and down. Had some great moments, had some down moments. But, man, he battled back in last season and really showed that he could be a player. So you got Lenore opposite Ward. So now you got 2 solid starters right there. Now, you lost Jimmy Ward in free agency, and you lost Emmanuel Moseley in free agency. And you could make an argument that was probably your number 3 and 4 best corners, maybe your number 2 and 3, if you wanted to put, depending on where you have Emmanuel Moseley ranked. I mean, a lot of people felt like Moseley was their 2nd best corner, and Jimmy Ward might have been their 3rd. So they might have lost their 2nd and 3rd best cornerbacks this year to free agency. But they didn't. The cupboard is not bare. So you've got Charvarius Ward. You got Diamador Lenore. Those are your starters. Isaiah Oliver, I think, is going to start at the nickel spot. Isaiah Oliver's coming off the best year of his career. He comes over from Atlanta as an unrestricted free agent. He's got size. He's got length. He's 6 feet. He's 210 pounds. He's physical. He can match up to DK Metcalf and some of those bigger bodied, the big nickel receiver that exist all throughout this league. So how good is Oliver going to be? Well, I'll say this: he just had the best year of his career playing the nickel, and the Niners are going to plug him right in at that same nickel spot and ask him to replicate what he did a year ago. Now, can he do it? We're going to find out. But Charvarius Ward, Diamador Lenore, Isaiah Oliver, those are your top 3 guys. All right, then the Niners drafted in the 5th round this year Darrell Luter Jr. Now, Luter's played a lot of man. Even when they were playing zone on the other side, they manned him up. He manned up on the boundary against the X-wide receiver and played it a lot. And, sometimes they treated him like he was like South Alabama's version of Deion Sanders. We'll go 10 on 10 over here, and we'll just let Luter take away that receiver on that side. That's how good he was at playing press man, bump right up at the line of scrimmage too. He's long armed. He can bother you at the line of scrimmage. I think there's a very good chance Luter could take Lenore's starting job, but minimum, he's going to be an outstanding corner for them in a rotation. So now he becomes your fourth corner. So you've got Ward, Charvarius, you got Isaiah Oliver, you got Diamador Lenore, now you got Darrell Luter. So you got those four guys right there. Then you got Samuel Womack coming back for year two. And I thought Womack might have been one of their best corners last year. He was a 5th-round pick out of Toledo. He can play the slot. He can play inside. He can play outside. He's not afraid. He's a really solid NFL player. So there you go. There's 5 right there. Lenore, Charvarius, Isaiah Oliver, Darrell Luter Jr., and Samuel Womack. So if that's all you had, you'd be covered right there. But then you still have Miles Hartsfield, who Steve Wilkes told me that, is kind of like a coach on the field and a guy that he really trusts and a guy who knows his defense, knows his scheme, should almost act like a coach on the field. That's corner number 6. Then you've got Ambry Thomas. Ambry Thomas was a 3rd-round pick in 2021 and had a little bit of a bump in the road the last year. But Ambry Thomas is still an NFL caliber corner size speed. He's corner number 7. I really think that one of the sleeper undrafted players they signed was Deshaun Jameson from the University of Texas. Jameson's a good corner with a lot of experience and is a killer return man. So Jameson's in the mix. That's 8. So, look what you got as far as numbers. You got Charvarius Ward, Isaiah Oliver, Diamador Lenore, Darrell Luter, Samuel Womack, Miles Hartsfield, Ambry Thomas, Deshaun Jameson. That's 8 right there. I'm not even considering Quantrez Knight, but he's in the mix there as well. Quantrez, I think, is probably going to find his way more to safety than corner, but he's got experience playing the corner. Then you also have Avery Young, who's also going to play safety, the Rutgers kid, but he started his career as a corner. It could play it in a pinch. Then you got Taylor Hawkins, who also, exact same thing, played his entire career at San Diego State as an outstanding corner, and they have him in camp as a safety. So not only do the Niners have eight NFL caliber corners, they also have 3 safeties who have corner in their background and could play in a pinch. And they still have a couple other camp bodies. I haven't even mentioned guys like A.J. Parker and Trace Swilling. But 8 deep on the corner is plenty deep. And to have a number 1 like Charvarius and to still be 8 deep, that's solid. That right there means you're going to have good competition. In other words, the 49ers are probably a whole lot better than 24th in the NFL on the corner because of the depth. Because of the depth that they have at the corner today, not projecting that they sign this guy and they sign that guy. I'm just saying right now, Charvarius Ward, Isaiah Oliver, Diamador Lenore, those are your starting 3. Darrell Luter, Samuel Womack, Miles Hartsfield, that's your second team. That's 6. And then you still got Ambry Thomas, and you still got Deshaun Jameson, and both those guys can play. That's 8. So, to me, I would rather go to camp with 8 solid NFL corners than 5 really good, strong corners, but no depth behind it because guys get hurt, and you're going to need that 6th corner, and you may need that 7th and 8th corner. And if those guys can't play, you're only as weak as your weakest link. I was at the Miami Niner game a couple years ago when the Niners signed a street free agent on a Wednesday, and he just got absolutely torched by Ryan Fitzpatrick on Sunday to the point where Fitzpatrick came out of every huddle looking for where this guy was and just pointed him out and went right at him the entire time. So the old saying, you're only as weak as your weakest link, it's really true. So having quality depth at corner means as much as how good are your starters, because you're going to have to put one with everybody playing, in the sub package and all kinds of 4 and 5 wides out there. Your fourth and fifth corner play. Those guys play. Those guys used to never play. Now your fourth and fifth corner play. So your fourth and fifth corner matter. And so do your sixth and seventh corner because there are injuries. So the 49ers, where do they really rank? Well, I haven't looked at every team in football, but I would say just because of their depth alone, they're in the top half. They're not 24th. They're more like 12th because they do have a lot of depth on the corner. And now with Steve Wilkes there, you've got a guy who can really coach the position as well. All right, hope you enjoyed our 49er video. Check out Pig and a Pickle in their 2 locations. They're in Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week in Marin County from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Wednesday through Sunday in Emeryville. Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. And thanks for supporting The Krug Show on YouTube.